Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Strength Piccolo unit and taking a look at how good he is in DBZ Dokkan battle. I didn't manage to get this guy when he released, and he's a pretty hype general banner unit. I think a lot of players really like him as a unit, so it's going to be cool to take a look at him and just see how good he is. Now obviously one of the super hype awesome things about him is that he can link up pretty well with the Tech Piccolo, the LR one. I think he shares 4 links with him, 4 pretty good links as well. So obviously that's a very big kind of draw factor for this Piccolo. But yeah, in terms of build, it's difficult to say, but if you want to, you can give him crit. It'll just help him out a bit offensively. Alternatively as well, you can just give him additional as well. He does have a medium chance of crit built in, and additionals do help him raise his defense, but you could also give him dodge, since he kind of has everything but additionals built into his kit, so it's not really a big deal. In terms of Piccolo's abilities, he's a movie hero's lead of 130%. He raises attack and defense 1 turn and causes immense or supreme damage to the enemy whilst also sealing their super attack. He has Ki +1 and attack and defense of 200%, plus an additional attack and defense of 50%, with a medium chance of performing a crit for 3 turns after receiving an attack. He also has an additional damage reduction of 15% per movie hero's category ally self-excluded, attacking in the same turn when guard is activated, which means he can have 30% damage reduction in 1 turn. He has superclass allies, Ki +2 and defense of 30%, plus an additional attack of 30% for superclass allies when there's an extreme class enemy. He has an additional attack and defense of 50% when facing only 1 enemy, and an additional defense of 100% when facing 2 or more enemies. Brainiacs, Prodigies, Experienced Fighters, Solid Support, Namekians, Gaze of Respect, and Fierce Battle are his links, and Namekian movie heroes, Worthy Rivals, On the Master and Disciple, Battle of Wits, Connected Hope, Gifted Warriors, Fused Fighters, and Earthbred Fighters are his categories. Now obviously you're getting a look at his performance, and you're getting a good look at his numbers. Being linked up with Piccolo is a pretty big deal. He also needs another movie heroes to give him that big 30% damage reduction, which does help out a lot. Although he has guard, which makes him very strong, that additional 30% damage reduction is really good, and basically helps him out a huge ton when you're talking about his overall performance defensively. So although he is very strong, I do believe that 15% means a lot more than people might think. So yeah, Piccolo is still really good. Obviously I don't think there's anything crazy that he necessarily can or cannot do. His performance against extreme class enemies is actually quite pivotal, so a lot of the game has extreme class units as the enemy. For example, Red Zone is predominantly the endgame game, like Red Zone is the endgame, is obviously predominantly kind of how things are running, and so for him as a unit it's pretty important that he faces Red Zone enemies. And it's not to say that he's not good against superclass units, but he definitely does have a drop off as well, and you can see that. I'm showing the clips of him facing a superclass unit now in the form of God Goku, and this, his level of performance here isn't as, like good as his other performances. And again, it's not to say that he's terrible when he faces a superclass unit, it's just that there is a little bit of a drop off, and it's important to note that. He is losing quite a bit. Obviously Like, he's losing a bit in terms of his support, he's losing a little bit in terms of his actual performance. So it doesn't, again, make it super duper terrible, but it does just make it not as good as, you know, it could be. Though with that being said, I think overall he's still incredibly solid, and he's a really good unit that just does exactly what needs to be done. So I think overall he's really solid, and yeah, I think he does a great job without necessarily being super duper in your face like crazy good. I think he's just really helped out by how strong his team is right now, and how, you know, really strong like movie heroes is right now, and how many valid options he has, especially with the way Piccolos are at the current moment in time. He's a good unit, and I think it's no surprise, considering how people like slot 1 tanks, how good he is as a slot 1 unit, and it does make people really enjoy how good he is, and I think he deserves the respect that he gets. A unit that's good defensively whilst also providing really nice support. It links up really well with one of the best units in the game, and honestly does a really good job at 55%. 3 mil attack stats are good, no matter what people say, and his defensive stats are solid, if not unspectacular. But the big thing about them is that they're aided by a lot of things. Like everything about it is pretty much aided. So he's got, for example, damage reduction, he's got guard, and all of these things make his 200k defense go a very long way. Whereas units with 200k defense would be considered good, Piccolo is different because of all the different factors that kind of aid his capabilities. It's like he has a lot more going on for him, and that just makes him kind of run that a little bit better. But with that being said, I think overall he's in a good space, and I really just like him as a unit, and I kind of just enjoy running him. I think he's a really good piece to kind of run with everyone else, and if you are obviously interested in using him as a unit, then I definitely think you should. But at the same time, one thing I will say is he can drop off a little bit if you don't give him some tools to make him solid. Make this guy face a superclass unit, and make him face a like with none of his links, and don't give him any movie heroes units, and his guard's not going to be able to make up for it at 55%. But you would never do that, because we don't like to set units up to fail. It's not really a good idea to build your team for units to fail, so you don't need to do that. He's got plenty options to make him work, plenty options to make him run to the best of his capabilities. So yeah, really solid unit. So overall I would say he's in a really good position. Links wise, you want to prioritize Brainiacs, you want to prioritize Namekian's Gaze of Respect as his only key link, but he does give himself 1 key, which is really good. He also has experienced fighters, which is relatively strong and relatively common, and he has Fierce Battle, which is also, again, obviously super common amongst all Dokkan Awakened units. Overall, he's got an okay link set. It's really not the craziest link set, but it's alright. That's it for me. Bye.